Okay, we're ready to begin with Nebraska basketball coach Fred Hoiberg. If everyone's ready in the chat, I'll give the first question to Sam McHugh in Omaha World Herald.
Hey, Fred. Well, it's been obviously a wild and long off season. I guess the first question is basically where do you guys stand on your schedule? What do you know about what's coming up, and how do you feel just in general about how your team has adjusted to every single curveball that's been thrown its way?
Well, Sam, we're relatively confident that we're going to play our first game on the 25th. We're still working out the details on exactly who that will be. We have an idea, obviously, of who that will be, but we are not 100% sure at this point. We hopefully will, in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll be able to put out our non-conference portion of our schedule, but we are still working out the details on exactly who that will be.
Do you have any idea when the Big Ten schedule will be out?
I don't, Sam. I'm sorry. I don't have that answer.
How can you not? Like, what's going on? Like, how can they not? How do you not know? Like, is there some negotiation that they're trying to figure out with the presidents, or?
That's a great question, Sam. Hopefully, obviously, we'll learn soon. I mean, we're going to be playing. We have basically 6 practices left. We have to take 2 days off right now, as per NCAA rule, in the preseason. So we've got 6 practices left, working up to that first game. Like I said, that will hopefully take place a week from Wednesday on the 25th. After that, we're confident that we will still have our multi-team event where we would play 2 games in that. We think we know the rest of our non-conference schedule, but until we get the actual schedule from the Big Ten as far as what that looks like, we unfortunately just can't announce it yet.
Robin Washut.
With all that being said about the schedule, I mean, how much does that impact your preparations? The fact that you're 9 days away from your first opponent and you don't know officially who that opponent's going to be. I mean, what does that do for scouting? I mean, do you just focus on yourself? What's the approach right now for you guys?
That is our approach, Robin. We are just we're worried about ourselves right now, and going out there, we're adding new things to our system every day. We're going through different situations every day to try to prepare for whoever that opponent will be. Like I said, we are confident that in the next 24 to 48 hours, we will know exactly what our non-conference schedule is. But we won't start preparing for that first opponent really until next Monday. So we'll get a good day Monday, Tuesday, have a shoot-around or a walkthrough depending on the time of our game on Wednesday, and then go out and play. But I know this. Our guys are excited. We did get into PBA for the first time last week and had an inter-squad scrimmage with Big Ten refs. It was a great opportunity for our guys to get out and play in a different setting. Brought some light and freshness to the situation as opposed to coming in here day after day after day and beating on each other. And as opposed to having our grad assistants and our assistant coach reffing the games, who are awful, we actually had some Big Ten refs in here, so that was good. And like I said, it was great to get out there in a different setting. We'll have a couple more of those scrimmages. We do anticipate back-to-back or 3 and 4 to start the season. So we're just really trying to acclimate the guys' bodies to what that's going to look like. So we will do a back-to-back scrimmage at the end of this week, preparing for the opener next Wednesday.
Chris Basnett, Lincoln Journal-Star.
Hey, Fred, I won't ask about the schedule, but I guess just, your reaction when Bryce McGowan's told you yes, and then, just your thoughts overall on the class you guys were able to put together.
Yeah, we're really excited, Chris, about the recruiting class, and we feel we have 3 really high quality players coming into our program next year. Keisha was the first one to get his paperwork in. We feel he's as good a shooter as there's going to be in the country next year. I think for people that are fans of the program that have known he has had his commitment for probably about a year now, to see some of the video of him shooting the basketball. The corner threes where he made 48 in a row in the right corner, the video of that. The thing that really impresses me about Keisha is he is the focal point for every opponent. And scouting reports, because of the way he shoots the ball, revolve a lot of times around him. teams don't leave him, and for him to be able still to get his shot off, the degree of difficulty on some of those shots that he takes, and to still shoot a high percentage, just shows how much work he puts into it. He's played on a very high stage, so there's not going to be too big of a moment for him. He's a very popular figure in his country, and I think he can be a role model for kids in his home country of Japan. Wilhelm Breidenbach, we're very excited about him as well. Matt Abdelmassi, who's done an unbelievable job helping put our roster together, and obviously instrumental in this recruiting class. Our first scouting event last year was in Charlottesville, Virginia, at the NBA Top 100 camp. And we walked in this gym of, the top 100 players in the class, and he told me to look out there and guess who the guy was that he liked the most. And I said, is it the guy in the goggles? He said, yeah, watch him play. And he went out there and he just blew me away with his skill set. He's an incredible passer. That's one of the things I like most. And he almost does a better job passing with his left hand. So he's got a really good, unique skill set as a guy that's 6'10", that can pass with both hands, that is skilled, that can pop to the top of the floor and knock down shots at a high level. I think he can initiate offense, which is very important at that position within our offense. And he's a tough kid that plays with a constant motor. So we're really fortunate and feel great about Wilhelm because of that unique skill set and how well he'll fit. And then Bryce, the news and the call that we got a couple days ago to let us know that he was coming, was just a great feeling, just to show the direction of where we are heading, how bright our future is. To get a guy, the first 5-star in the history of the program, and to come, I think a big part of it was obviously talking to Trey about how his experience has been here so far with everything that we're about. Not just the product on the floor, but our strength and conditioning staff, how great of a job they do, our sports scientist who monitors all of our workloads, our nutrition staff that's here for our guys, all hours of the day. So when he talked to Bryce just about how great of a situation it has been for him so far and how well he would fit into how we play, I think that got Bryce excited. So, to get those 3 guys into our system shows, I think we'll be very competitive this year, and then you add 3 more pieces to our team next year. I think the future is very bright.
Caleb Henry?
Coach, you said when Bryce signed that it changed the trajectory of your program. What is that trajectory? That is it conference championships? Is it second weekend of the tournament, Final Fours? And then just your thoughts on the news about the NCAA tournament changing in the spring.
Well, ultimately, Caleb, we want to put ourselves in a position to compete for championships, and that's why we took the job here. We want to help take this program to where it's never been before and be a consistent NCAA team. When you get in there, you have chances to compete for championships. It's, I guess, a little bit similar at Iowa State when we took over in year 2, took a huge jump, got into the tournament, won a game, won 2 Big 12 tournament championships in that stretch, and went to 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments. That's where we want to be. We want to be a team that has a chance to go in there and compete for conference championships and for national championships, and that's why we took the job. And if I didn't think we could get there, I wouldn't have taken this job. So we're excited about that. As far as the NCAA tournament, honestly, I heard that when I was walking down the steps to come into this room today, so I really haven't digested it. It probably makes sense, to form some type of bubble to, hopefully get the not only the season in, but obviously the tournament as well.
Kevin Suits?
Coach, I was curious how the players are handling this right now. You're a week away from starting the season. So on one hand, there's a lot of excitement, the fact that it's about to start, but on the other hand, there still is kind of a lack of information from the Big Ten NCAA, and there's probably some worry and fear in their eyes. How do you see them, navigating some of the emotions they may be having right now?
Yeah, Kevin, I think the biggest thing that we have talked to our players about is all we can do is worry about the things that we can control, and that's coming in the gym and working hard every day, doing the right things to try to do everything we can to where COVID doesn't go through our team. We've still only had the 2 positive cases, so our guys have done a great job with that. And now that we're approaching the season and the rule of having to sit out an extended period, if we do have it, our guys have bought into it. But that's all we can worry about right now is going out there and practicing hard, preparing as if we were going to play a full season.
Kevin Knight?
Yeah, I know, Coach Hoiberg, I won't ask you about the Big Ten schedule, obviously, again, but some of the smaller leagues and obviously with the NCAA news today, there's talk of different sites hosting more than one game at a time. Are you able to at least confirm whether or not the Big Ten has even brought that up in a discussion, whether or not it's actually in place or not? I'm not asking, but has it been discussed at least?
We have not had that discussion. Like I said, today was the first that I'd heard of that, and that was just when I was on my way down to the room right now. But, again, as I just mentioned, I think the biggest thing for us is just to go out and prepare as if we're going to play a full season. And, like I said, hopefully get through it and get to an NCAA tournament. I think it's very important that happens.
Michael Brunst?
Hey, Fred, I guess 9 days out, how prepared do you feel like your team is right now to run the offense that you want and really kind of make your system work with kind of what you've installed at this point? And also in those scrimmage settings in PBA with the refs, I mean, what do you kind of learn about your team in those settings that's maybe a little bit different than what you would just, over in the practice facility normally?
Yeah, it shouldn't change. And for us to go out and do everything we've been doing for the past several months, once we start playing games, we don't need to change. We need to continue to go out there and stress making simple plays. We don't need to try to all of a sudden hit home runs because now the games count. It's all about going out there and trusting each other. It's playing with great pace, trying to withstand runs and play through adversity, which I think this group has done a really good job of to this point. How will that translate once we start playing for real? Obviously, is yet to be seen. But for us, we've had a lot of time to get to this moment of starting to play games, and we're excited for that opportunity. And hopefully we do go out and continue to trust each other the way we have. We built great chemistry. This is a group of players I've absolutely loved coaching. They're coachable. They play with great effort. They're competitive. And again, I've said this in the past, when you have a group like that loves to play and compete, we'll have everybody back in the gym at some point today. We'll have a bunch of guys coming back to PBA to get shots up tonight to try to get used to that background. But we really do have a group that loves to be in the gym, and when you have that, you have a chance.
John Niatawa?
Yeah, Fred, how much thought have you given, if any, to the potential that you'll have a quarantine or that games are going to get canceled, that there's just going to be disruption and it might throw off the normal routine? Have you already sort of set a preliminary plan together if this is how we might handle that? Or are you just going to kind of wait and see how that goes as the season progresses?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are prepared. Hopefully it doesn't get to that, but in today's climate where things are going and obviously the numbers where they're trending, you have to have a plan if something does happen. We do have that. We feel great about our medical staff. They've done a really good job of educating us and educating our team. We are doing the daily testing. Every morning we come in at 7:30 and test our entire team and the staff that is around on a daily basis. But yeah, I mean, we're just doing the best we can, and what that entails for our guys is doing the right things and making the right decisions to do everything we can to keep it at bay. Obviously what we saw last week, I've got a son that plays at Michigan State. Tom Izzo, it sounds like he was as careful as anybody, and he still got it. So, you just never know. To answer your original question, as far as having a plan, we do, but hopefully we don't have to execute it. But, again, it's about the safety, and we understand that. This is about the safety of our athletes, student athletes, the safety of the kids, the safety of the staff, and we're trying to do everything we can, to get things in the right direction.
Can you, Sam McEwen?
Hey, Fred, who stood out to you in the scrimmage you guys had last week? And specifically, I want to ask how Teddy Allen played.
Well, Teddy had 29 in our scrimmage, and he was terrific. And again, our guys I thought it didn't press the issue. It wasn't like he went out there and came down and just fired up shots the entire scrimmage. I thought guys moved the ball really well. He was the benefactor of a lot of that good ball movement. Shot the ball extremely well. We did some man-to-man work, zone work, obviously preparing for anything, and he looked really good in both of those situations. But the ball movement was really good. Our assist-to-turnover ratio was excellent, over almost 2.5 to 1 on our red team, and it was fun to watch. I thought our guys really bought into the movement, and again, we just have to continue to stress to our players when we make simple plays, good things happen.
We talked so much about your offense, but how much better do you think your defense will be?
Well, we're longer. I think we're more athletic. I think we're going to have more versatility to have different defenses out there this year, depending on lineups. I think we can, play different types of defenses, man and zone, this year because of our length. I think we can play, maybe small at times. We'll have a lot of players out there that could be 6'7" and above, and could be a good switching lineup. So I just think the versatility of this team, both not only offensively but defensively as well, is very good.
Okay, we got time for a couple more here. I'll go with Chris Bastet.
Fred, what do you think constitutes success for you guys this year? Does it change with all the circumstances that are maybe out of your control, or is it the same as always? We just want to get better, every day, every week, every game.
Yeah, we for us, it's about taking the right steps as a program. Obviously things didn't end the way any of us would have hoped a year ago. We had some good early games, had some throughout the course of the season, but we want to take steps in the right direction as a program. We were able to establish a style of play that I think fits this group and I think fits next group with our recruiting class that we have coming in. So, for us, it's continuing to get better throughout the season. And, again, we got a group that loves to compete. They're very receptive in film sessions. You don't have anybody that, when we talk in those film sessions, that gets sensitive about being coached. So, for us, it's making the right steps throughout the course of the season. But, the biggest thing is, really growing as a program and talking about what I talked about earlier, ultimately is competing for championships and competing for conference titles. With what we have this year, I think the core that we'll have coming back to add with Bryce, with Wilhelm, with Keisha, I think we're definitely on the right track. But, yeah, getting better throughout the course of the season is definitely something we want to do.
Got time for two more. Gavin Struve.
Yeah. Relating to the roster, you have a lot of options with interchangeable ball handlers and wings and more bigs this year than last. How do you plan to use that versatility to craft lineups, and how do you think this roster will be more successful than last year's?
Yeah, it's going to be different players on different nights. We may not finish with the same group every night, depending on who's got it going, and what we're playing against will determine a lot of times who's on the floor at the end of games. We have an idea who we're going to start on Wednesday, but that can change. Guys are still out there competing for playing time, competing for the all-important crunch time minutes. And if somebody's got it going, which we have players capable of doing on this team that may not be in the starting lineup, then they'll be in there at the end. But the versatility of this lineup, the different weapons that we have, I'm excited about that.
And last, we'll finish up with Robin Washington.
If I just want to check, obviously the news of a Cole came out, but otherwise, are you guys healthy? Any other injury-related items to report going into the season?
Yeah, other than a call, obviously we're all hoping for a full and speedy recovery. We'll take it slow. He will miss the year based on the procedure that he had. But other than a call, we're good to go heading into in the opener next week.
Okay, we'll finish up with that. Will be the last question for Coach. I'll put Matt Abdelmassi up here shortly.
Thank you.